All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate curtain raiser activities of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav and flag off Padyatra from Sabarmati Ashram in Mdhabad today to commemorate the 75th anniversary of India's independence. Several events to be held across the country to mark the occasion. Today is the last date for withdrawal of candidature for first phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal. Filing of nomination papers to end today for second phase of assembly polls in 2 states. Notification to also be issued for third phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal. Filing of nomination papers to begin with issuance of notification for single phase assembly polls in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Prime Ministers of India, Australia, Japan and the US President to virtually participate in first Quad Leaders Summit today. India crosses 2 crore 60 lakhs COVID-19 vaccination mark. US President Joe Biden signs $1.9 trillion coronavirus rescue package into law. And in cricket, India to take on England in first T20 match in Mdhabad this evening. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the curtain raiser activities of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav and flag off a Padyatra from Sabarmati Ashram at Ahmedabad in Gujarat today. The Mahotsav is a series of events being organized by the government to commemorate the 75th anniversary of India's independence. It will be celebrated as a Jan Utsav in the spirit of Jan Bhagidari. The curtain raiser activities are beginning from today, 75 weeks prior to 15th August 2022. The Padyatra will be undertaken by 81 marchers from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi in Navsari, a journey of 241 miles that will end on 5th of April, lasting for 25 days. The Freedom March will be joined by different groups of people on the way to Dandi. Culture Minister Prahlad Singh Patel will lead the first lap of 75 kilometers of the Padyatra. During the march, the Culture Minister will stay overnight with the Padyatris at the place of the night halt, and the Padyatra will restart from the same place the next day. The day also marks the historic Salt March of Mahatma Gandhi. It was on the 12th of March in 1930 that Gandhiji began the Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram against the salt laws along with 81 Padyatris. Last year, during a visit to Sabarmati Ashram, Prime Minister Narendra Modi elucidated on the importance of Dandi March in Indian freedom struggle.
दांडी मार्च से भारत की आजादी के आंदोलन पर क्या असर पड़ा और दुनिया की सोच में कैसे इस मार्च से परिवर्तन आया, इसको याद रखना जरूरी है। ये नमक सत्याग्रह ही था जिसने आजादी की लड़ाई को नई दिशा दी। दांडी मार्च ने पश्चिमी मीडिया में भारत के प्रति सोच, हमारे आजादी के आंदोलन के प्रति समझ को बदलने में एक बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाई। इस ऐतिहासिक घटना से पहले ज्यादातर दुनिया हमें ब्रिटेन के चश्मे से देखती थी, लेकिन जब अमेरिका की मशहूर टाइम मैगजीन ने बापू को साल 1930 का पर्सन ऑफ द ईयर चुना, तो दुनिया में अत्याचार के विरुद्ध आवाज को नई बुलंदी मिलने लगी.
Today, the Prime Minister will also launch various other cultural and digital initiatives for the 75th year of Independence Day celebrations. The Prime Minister will also address the gathering at Sabarmati Ashram. A report.
Historic Dandi March launched by the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, from Sabarmati Ashram on 12th March 1930 is an important milestone in the India's freedom struggle. After reaching at Dandi in South Gujarat coast with 81 other foot marchers, Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law imposed by then British rulers in India, which had created mass movement across the country against the British rule in India. Similarly, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is flagging off another Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram today to launch the celebrations of 75th anniversary of India's independence. 81 marchers will walk through the same historic route from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi in next 21 days. Series of cultural events, dramas, plays, and rural meetings will be organized during this Dandi March to create the awareness among the people on Atmanirbhar Bharat, cleanliness, environment, social security and water conservation in India. This will also create the mass movement among the people about the various achievements of India on the occasion of 75th anniversary of India's independence. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
All India Radio Delhi will broadcast the function live on its FM Gold and Indraprasth channels from 10:25 a.m. onwards. The broadcast will also be live streamed on AIR Live News 24/7 and Akashvani AIR YouTube channels. State and Union Territory governments are also organizing programs all over the country today. In addition to these programs, the Archaeological Survey of India and zonal cultural centers under the Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Youth Affairs and TriFed have planned various activities to mark the occasion. Apart from the main function at Sabarmati Ashram in Mdhabad, Azadika Amrit Mahotsav will be celebrated through 75 events in Gujarat. For more on this, let's go over live to our correspondent Yogesh Pandya in Ahmedabad. Yogesh?
Yes, as we all know, the nationwide celebration of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav to mark the 75th.
Yogesh, tell us about the series of programs being held across Gujarat today related to the nationwide Azadika Amrit Mahotsav.
Yes, as we all know, the nationwide celebration of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav to mark the 75th anniversary celebrations of India's independence will be launched by Prime Minister from the historic Sabarmati Ashram. Similarly, these celebrations will be conducted simultaneously at 75 places, including 6 important districts in Gujarat also. The grand celebration at historic Sabarmati Ashram will be attended by Gujarat Governor Acharya Devrat, Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, Leader of Opposition in Gujarat Assembly Paresh Dhanani, Union Minister Prahlad Singh Patel and State BJP President C.R. Patil. The trustees of Sabarmati Ashram, Kartikeya Sarabhai, Sri Amrut Modi and Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar will also remain present on this occasion. Similarly, the various patriotic programs will also be conducted at important places in Gujarat such as Rajkot, Mandvi in Kutch, Porbandar, Vadodara, Bardoli in Surat and Dandi in Navsari. Besides these, other events such as cultural programs, cycle and bike rallies, Padyatras, tree plantation and craft bazaar will also be conducted from today.
Thank you, Yogesh. The Delhi government will kick-start the year-long activities to celebrate the 75 years of independence with an event at Connaught Place in New Delhi today. The Delhi Tourism Department will organize the events marking the year-long activities. Streets will come alive in the evening with performances hosted in collaboration with the Art and Culture Department of Delhi. The year will witness multiple events highlighting the city's role in the freedom movement and its journey in the last 75 years, including the vision of Delhi in 2047 when India will complete its 100 years of independence. The Delhi government has invited people to be part of this celebration and unite in spirit of India's capital city. The entry to the event will be limited to maintain COVID norms and guidelines.
The Uttar Pradesh government is holding a series of events and activities today as a part of the Azadika Amrit Mahotsav to mark the beginning of nationwide celebrations of the 75th anniversary of India's independence. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will take part in an event at Kakori Shahid Samarak in Lucknow, while Governor Anandiben Patel will be present in Balia. More details from our Lucknow correspondent.
The inaugural functions related to Amrit Mahotsav will take place today at 4 historic places which were associated with the history of independence struggle. These are Shahid Smarak in Balia, Kakori Shahid Smarak in Lucknow, Shahid Smarak and Freedom Struggle Museum in Meerut and the historic fort and Deen Dayal Auditorium in Jhansi. Before the launch by the Prime Minister, 75 cycle volunteers will hold a 45-minute freedom cycle rally covering 7,500 meters to reach identified spots in 4 districts. Volunteers dressed in Indian attire will carry placards with slogans of independence struggle. At the inaugural, floral tributes will be paid to martyrs 75 tricolor balloons would be released amidst playing of the national anthem by police bands. Patriotic songs, particularly based on Dandi March, will be sung in local dialects like Bhojpuri, Awadhi and Bundeli. An exhibition will continue from morning 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in evening, which will showcase the various documents, pictures, audio visuals related to freedom struggle. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Principal Director General of All India Radio News, N. Venudhar Reddy, will inaugurate an exhibition at Chandmari in Guwahati today on the commencement of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav to mark 75 years of India's independence. The exhibition is being organized by the Regional Outreach Bureau, Guwahati. The Directorate of Information and Public Relations is also organizing an exhibition in Guwahati today. Maharashtra government will be holding various programs related to Azadika Amrit Mahotsav today. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray will flag off Freedom Heritage Walk from Agast Kranti Maidan in Mumbai. Freedom fighters will also be felicitated in the program. Telangana is all set for launch of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav as part of nationwide celebrations commemorating 75 years of India's independence. The celebrations will be held at two places, mainly at Warangal and Hyderabad. State Governor Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan will be hoisting the national flag at a program at 11 a.m. in Warangal. In another program being held at Public Gardens in Hyderabad, Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao will unfurl the tricolour to formally begin the celebrations, which will continue for 75 weeks across the state. A report from a Telangana correspondent.
Telangana state authorities are preparing a full-fledged action plan for celebrating Azadika Amrit Mahotsav for 75 weeks till the Independence Day next year. The celebrations will begin on a grand note at two events being held at Public Gardens in Hyderabad and also at Police Parade Ground in Warangal this morning. Elaborate arrangements have been made at both the places. Besides flag hoisting, police march pasts will be held, followed by releasing of balloons in air. The Regional Outreach Bureau of Information and Broadcasting Ministry will be putting up photo exhibitions at both the places, coinciding the beginning of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav in the state. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
Today is the last date for the withdrawal of candidature for the first phase of assembly elections in poll-bound states of Assam and West Bengal. In Assam, 47 assembly constituencies will go to polls on 27th of this month during the first phase, while polling will be held in 30 assembly constituencies of West Bengal in this phase. Today is also the closing day for filing of nomination papers for the second phase of assembly polls in Assam and West Bengal. In Assam, 114 candidates have submitted their nomination papers so far in this phase. 39 assembly constituencies of Assam and 30 assembly constituencies of West Bengal will go to polls on 1st of April in the second phase. In addition, the process of filing of nominations will begin today with the issuance of notification for the third phase of assembly elections in these two states. 40 assembly constituencies of Assam and 31 assembly constituencies of West Bengal will go to polls in the third phase on 6th of April. In West Bengal, polling will be held on 16 seats of South 24 Parganas, 8 seats of Hooghly and 7 seats of Howrah during the third phase. Filing of nomination papers will also begin today for the single-phase assembly elections in Kerala, Tamil Nadu as well as the Union Territory of Puducherry. All the 140 assembly constituencies of Kerala and 234 assembly constituencies in Tamil Nadu, along with 30 assembly constituencies in Puducherry, will go to polls together on 6th of April. The counting of votes in the 4 states and the Union Territory will take place on 2nd of May. In Kerala, preparations for the upcoming assembly polls are in the final stage. More details from our Kozhikode correspondent.
The official notification for the assembly polls will be out today, followed by the beginning of nomination filing. The last date to file nomination is March 19th and the scrutiny will take place on March 20th. Nomination can be withdrawn till March 22nd. Meanwhile, the preparations for the General Assembly polls are in the final phase as the major fronts had almost finalized their list of candidates. LDF had entered the campaigning phase along with the beginning of constituency conventions after announcing its candidates in 132 seats. UDF will announce its candidates today and BJP is expected to announce its candidates tomorrow. Meanwhile, the 10th and 12th state board exams in the state had been postponed on account of election. The exams will only start from April 8th after the polling ends on April 6th. Mayusha for AR News from Kozhikode.
In Tamil Nadu, filing of nominations will begin for the single-phase assembly elections today. The last date for filing of nominations is 19th of this month. Scrutiny of nominations will take place on the 20th, and the last date for withdrawal of candidatures is the 22nd of March. More than 6.27 lakh voters will elect 234 representatives for the 16th Assembly on the 6th of April. Counting will be done on the 2nd of May. More details from our Chennai correspondent.
The ruling AIADMK front will face the elections in 179 constituencies, with BJP in 20, PMK in 23, Tamil Manila Congress in 6 in 1 constituency. The parties will contest in the two-leaf symbol of the AIADMK. The Secular Progressive Alliance is headed by the DMK. The party contests in 173 seats. Congress in 25, CPI, CPM, MDMK and VCK will contest in 6 seats each. Konganadu Makkal Desiya Katchi and IUML will contest in 3 each. மனிதநேய மக்கள் கட்சி in 2, All India Forward Bloc, தமிழக வாழ்வுரிமை கட்சி, மக்கள் விடுதலை கட்சி and ஆதி தமிழர் பேரவை parties will contest in 1 constituency each. Joy, AN News, Chennai.
In poll-bound Puducherry, the Congress and the DMK have finalized the seat-sharing deal for the upcoming assembly elections. More from our Puducherry correspondent.
The Congress will contest in 15 seats from the total 30 seats of Puducherry Legislative Assembly. DMK will contest in 13 seats and the alliance partners CPI and Vidudalai Chirutaigal Katchi shared each one. The seat sharing talks between the Congress and DMK in the Union Territory came to an end only yesterday late evening. Previously, the DMK wants to fight independently in the elections. Then they invited NR Congress leader Rangasamy to lead the alliance. But the NR Congress sealed the alliance with the BJP. In the 2016 Assembly elections, the Congress had contested in 21 seats and the DMK in 9 in the 30-member Assembly of Puducherry. The Congress won 15 seats and formed the Assembly with the support of 2 DMK MLAs in the 30-member House. Chandramohan, AR News, Puducherry.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate curtain raiser activities of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav and flag off Padyatra from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad today to commemorate 75th anniversary of India's independence. Several events to be held across the country to mark the occasion. Today is the last day for withdrawal of candidature for first phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal. Filing of nomination papers to end today for second phase of assembly polls in 2 states. Notification to also be issued for third phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal. Filing of nomination papers to begin with issuance of notification for single phase assembly polls in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Prime Ministers of India, Australia, Japan and US President to virtually participate in first Quad Leaders Summit today. India crosses 2.60 lakh COVID-19 vaccination mark. US President Joe Biden signs $1.9 trillion coronavirus rescue package into law. And in cricket, India to take on England in first T20 match in Ahmedabad this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Welcome back to the morning news. The first Quad Leaders Summit will be held virtually today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of Australia Scott Morrison, Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga and US President Joseph R. Biden will participate in the first Leaders Summit of the Quadrilateral Framework. We have a report.
The leaders will discuss regional and global issues of shared interest and exchange views on practical areas of cooperation towards maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific region. The summit will provide an opportunity to exchange views on contemporary challenges such as resilient supply chains, emerging and critical technologies, maritime security, and climate change. The leaders will also discuss ongoing efforts to combat COVID-19 pandemic and explore opportunities for collaboration in ensuring safe, equitable and affordable vaccines in the Indo-Pacific region. With Sobhagakar, Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Ahead of the Quad Leaders Summit today, Australia Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said the first meeting of the leaders of Quad countries would discuss security challenges across the Indo-Pacific, climate change and efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19 in the region. Talking to reporters in Sydney, Prime Minister Morrison said there have been many other meetings, but when governments come together at the highest level, this shows a whole new level of cooperation to create a new anchor for peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. The Australia Prime Minister said the talks will also include plans to achieve net zero emission targets into the future as countries in the region move to a new energy economy.
The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country has crossed 2 crore 60 lakh. Union Health Ministry said more than 3,18,000 COVID vaccine doses administered across the country in the last 24 hours. The ministry said more than 59,98,000 beneficiaries above 60 years of age have been vaccinated till date. The ministry said the daily COVID vaccination coverage was on the lower side yesterday as many people, particularly women, including ASHA workers and women vaccinators, were observing fast on the occasion of Mahashivratri. The countrywide vaccination drive was rolled out on 16th of January this year and vaccination of frontline workers started from 2nd of last month. In Ladakh, the ongoing COVID-19 vaccination drive has reached the remotest areas of the Union Territory. More details from our Leh correspondent.
The third phase of COVID vaccination drive in rural areas of Ladakh has gained momentum. Vaccination has reached to the remotest and the far-flung villages located at the line of actual control and line of control. In this phase of vaccination is aimed at for senior citizens and persons with comorbidities. At Primary Health Center Turtuk in LOC with Pakistan, the vaccination to continue till Saturday. On LAC in the Chushul PHC, vaccination conducted for the paramilitary forces and senior citizens and persons with comorbidities. At Rong Block situated in eastern Ladakh near LAC, the members of Women Alliance and Youth Association have joined the health department in vaccination program. Volunteers are helping the senior citizen and patient with comorbidities to reach the site and arranging refreshment for the people. Youngchan Dholma for AR News from Leh Ladakh.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has informed that the fresh dates for Maharashtra Public Service Commission's preliminary examination will be announced today. The examination was earlier scheduled for 14th of March but was postponed due to the recent spike in COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra. Many candidates who were preparing for these exams have been protesting against the decision. U.S. President Joe Biden has signed the $1.9 trillion coronavirus rescue package into law, marking a significant legislative accomplishment as the new administration looks to shepherd the country through the pandemic. President Biden, who signed the bill alongside Vice President Kamala Harris in the Oval Office, characterized the measure as historic legislation aimed at rebuilding the backbone of this country. The passage of the bill marked the first major legislative achievement of the new administration and a Congress that is now under full democratic control with narrow majorities in the House and Senate.
U.S. President Joe Biden today outlined his plan to make all adults vaccine eligible by 1st of May and get the country closer to normal by the 4th of July. Speaking at the White House in his first primetime address this morning, President Biden announced moves to speed vaccinations, including directing that states lift qualifications for vaccinations by 1st of May and expand the number of places and categories of people who can be vaccinated. The president was marking 1 year since the onset of the pandemic that has killed more than 530,000 Americans and disrupted the lives of countless more. He called the past year a collective suffering, a collective sacrifice. President Biden announced that he is deploying an additional 4,000 active duty troops to support vaccination efforts and will allow more people, such as medical students, veterinarians and dentists, to deliver shots. He is also directing more doses towards some 950 community health centers and up to 20,000 retail pharmacies to make it easier for people to get vaccinated closer to their homes. The US President's speech came hours after he signed into law a $1.9 trillion relief package that he said will help defeat the virus, nurse the economy back to health, and deliver direct aid to Americans in need. In cricket, India will take on England in the first of the 5-match 2020 international series at Narendra Modi Stadium in Mdhabad today. The match will begin at 7 p.m. The series is also being billed as a preparation for the upcoming T20 World Cup, which will also be played in India. The men in blue have already clinched the Test series against England by 3-1 and will be gearing up to clinch the T20 series as well. All India Radio will broadcast live commentary of the match from 6:30 p.m. onwards. This can be heard on FM Rainbow and additional frequencies.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi is likely to have thunderstorm with hail. The maximum temperature will be 34 degrees Celsius, while the minimum temperature recorded was 17 degrees. Mumbai, with a mainly clear sky, is likely to have an upper level temperature of around 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai, with likely partly cloudy sky, will see a rise of temperature up to 35 degrees Celsius from 25 degrees. Kolkata is expected to have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of development of thunder lightning. The city observed minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Jammu will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. It recorded 17 degrees Celsius as the minimum temperature, while the maximum will be around 26 degrees. Leh is expected to have light snowfall with maximum temperature rising up to 6 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will also have rain and snowfall, and the temperature will move from a minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 17 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain, and in Dehradun, upper level of temperature will be around 30 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The dailies have covered the news on the steady rise in COVID cases worrying the centre. At 22,000, daily cases hit 3-month high, writes the Tribune. While the Indian Express headline says, Maharashtra red flag up, Nagpur first city to see second lockdown, centre sends alert to surge states. As Prime Minister attends the first ever summit of leaders of grouping today, the Asian Age observes among the most significant deliverables, PM Biden to boost vaccine at Quad. The Pioneer quotes the government saying Covishield to cost less than 200 rupees in private hospitals. Niti Aayog submits first list of 12 PSUs for privatization, notes the Business Standard. The Times of India headline reports, Maths, Physics not a must for engineering as the All India Council for Technical Education has made the two subjects optional at class 12th level to get admissions in BE and BTech courses from 2021-22. And finally, Hindustan Times reports of a first ever sale by a major auction house that does not exist in physical form.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate curtain raiser activities of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav and flag off Padyatra from Sabarmati Ashram in Mdhabad today to commemorate 75th anniversary of India's independence. Several events to be held across the country to mark the occasion. Today is the last date for withdrawal of candidature for first phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal. Filing of nomination papers to end today for second phase of assembly polls in 2 states. Notification to also be issued for third phase of assembly elections in Assam and West Bengal. Filing of nomination papers to begin with issuance of notification for single phase assembly polls in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Prime Ministers of India, Australia, Japan and the US President to virtually participate in first Quad Leaders Summit today. India crosses 2 crore 60 lakh COVID-19 vaccination mark. US President Joe Biden signs $1.9 trillion coronavirus rescue package into law. And in cricket, India to take on England in first T20 match in Ahmedabad this evening. And in the spirit of Azadika Amrit Mahotsav being launched today, we leave you with this memorable song.